Now it's time to check in on Kamala Harris, who just released an agenda specifically pandering to black male voters. But it's not working out for her the way she hoped. Here's a clip from MSNBC that introduces the agenda that Kamala Harris just unveiled.
Just today, Harris rolled out a series of policies for what she calls her opportunity agenda for black men, which includes forgivable business loans for black entrepreneurs, more apprenticeships for black male teachers, more research for sickle cell disease and other diseases that disproportionately affect African American men. She's also calling for measures that ensure that black men have opportunities to participate as a national cannabis industry takes shape. By contrast, Donald Trump has laid out no policies that address specific concerns of most black voters. And no.
So I have many thoughts on this agenda, but first I'll just read to you guys a couple more parts of the agenda that Kamala Harris unveiled in a Twitter post outlining her plans. She wrote, "Black men deserve a president who cares about making their lives better," and then attached this list that she's calling the opportunity agenda for black men, including some of the things that MSNBC mentioned, but also, quote, protecting cryptocurrency investments so black men who make them know their money is safe, and also legalizing recreational marijuana. She also highlighted the idea that was mentioned to provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. So first and foremost, it's truly remarkable that she's even doing this at all, that she even feels the need to reach out to black voters, especially so close to an election. It's kind of a panic sign. It's kind of an admission that they're worried about black voters, black men in particular, possibly straying over to the other side in somewhat significant numbers, which isn't something Democrats have historically ever had to worry about. So I find this remarkable just on that one count alone. It really does reveal concern in Kamala Harris's camp that a significant number of black men may be walking away from them and not supporting their candidacy. Secondly, some of this is uncontroversial. I mean, I think most Americans would support the idea of doing more research into sickle cell anemia, even though it's a disease that does disproportionately affect black Americans. But I do question the extent to which black voters out there are really making their decision who to vote for around issues like that. In the same way, I think it's great if more black men become teachers, but I think the reason there are very few black male teachers is probably primarily that black men aren't interested in becoming teachers. Not that there aren't enough apprenticeship programs for them, but maybe that's an issue somehow. I just don't see that being top of mind for many black voters, honestly. And because of some of its other components, this agenda just seems incredibly cringeworthy and tone deaf. I mean, citing cryptocurrency is pandering. She's just saying, oh, black men like crypto, right? Well, I'll protect your investments. Babe, cryptocurrency websites don't ask for your race. There's nothing stopping black men from buying, trading, selling, investing, crypto, doing all that stuff like anyone else. There's no there. All you're doing is desperately pandering to black men because some pollster told you they like crypto. And I also have to raise a massive red flag about the part about small business loans for black entrepreneurs and others. What does that mean? There's only two possibilities here. Either one, she's proposing explicitly conditioning taxpayer dollars so they're only available to black men, which would be illegal and unconstitutional and just the pinnacle of equity politics, and has actually been blocked in court when they've tried to do it before as part of the Biden administration and at the state level in Democratic states. And if you ask me, it's just frankly un-American and divisive and wrong. We should have programs that help anyone in need, but not programs that are for some races and not for others. That's both unconstitutional, the violation of the Equal Protection Clause, and just un-American. That's not how we want to live in America. Most of us want a colorblind government system, not one that ever conditions benefits or punishments for one race over another. The second option is that she is just proposing a generic small business program, but then it's just leaning in to say this will help black men, and it's actually not even specifically for them. She's just kind of slapping the black men label on it when it's a random program she was already promoting, which is also pandery and tone deaf. Last but not least, we've got to talk about the fact that in her 5 bullet points for what she's going to do for black men, legalize marijuana. is one of them. Now, to be clear, I fully support legalizing marijuana. I'm all about it. It's personal freedom. Get the government out of here, out of our business. I don't smoke marijuana. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a free country and people should absolutely be free to do so. And I do acknowledge that there is a racial equality angle to this conversation because black and white people smoke marijuana at similar rates, but black people are more likely to get in legal trouble for it. However, there is something so tone deaf about saying, here's my plan for black men, legalize drugs. Whether you like it or not, whether there is that nuance to it or not, you are intentionally or unintentionally suggesting like black men really like drugs. And if I was a black man, most of whom don't smoke marijuana, I don't know that I would love that suggestion. And at the very least, the way it's framed is very tone deaf. Of course, that hasn't stopped Barack Obama from promoting it and lauding Kamala Harris over the plan in a tweet he posted. But much more interesting than his tweet is the lecture that Obama recently gave black men who are even considering thinking about voting for Trump, where he basically suggested they must just be sexist against women if they're possibly not going to support Kamala Harris. Take a listen to what Obama had to say.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you? Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
Wow. I can just tell you right now, this strategy of lecturing and insulting black men for not getting in line and doing what black elites like Barack Obama think they're supposed to do is not going to work out well for the Democrats. I mean, it's just profoundly insulting and reductionist to tell black men that if they don't support Kamala Harris, they're probably just sexists, and that it is not an acceptable decision in the Lord's eyes of Barack Obama. Like, who made you the God King of black people, allowed to tell them what's acceptable and what's not for them to do at the ballot box? In reality, black men who aren't supporting Kamala may be concerned about the border crisis that's happened under the Biden administration, the huge increase in cost of living, and the economic struggles their families have faced during the Biden-Harris administration. They might find her far-left policy positions on a host of issues alien to their values. They might be concerned about foreign policy and the unstable nature of world affairs and global conflicts under this administration that Kamala Harris was a key part of. The idea that the only reason they wouldn't support Kamala Harris is because they're sexist rubes is both infantilizing and paternalizing and patently untrue. You guys know that I don't take sides in elections and I just call balls and strikes like I see it. But if I was working for the Trump campaign, I would be actively clipping that Obama speech up and then bombarding it through ads targeted to black men specifically, because people are sick of being lectured by elites and being called bigots if they dare disagree with them. And the more Democrats double down on this approach, the more it's going to backfire.